This video unfolds as a lost resurrection script. It is unearthed from a sealed tomb, a forbidden passage read only by those whose death already rippled through the underworld current. The words are alive, inscribed in the fabric of the Nile's memory. They are voiced by the current of Isis herself as she retraces the soul's fragmentation. Symbol by symbol, the viewer is drawn into the truth. They were broken on purpose to activate the law of divine reassembly. The climax is not revelation, it is remembrance, the truth that every part of you is already being returned to its throne. The journey begins not with awakening, but with the profound stillness of collapse. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos. Now let's keep going. The world shattered. Not with a roar, but with a whisper that hollowed out existence. There were no armies, no cataclysms in the sky. It was a quiet unraveling, a silent consent to disintegration. This was the first tremor, the invitation to witness the impossible. The familiar patterns of the heart began to fray. Foundations that seemed eternal crumbled to dust. It was the moment when life, in its brutal honesty, laid bare its impermanence. The breath hitched, not in fear, but in recognition. The universe itself seemed to hold its breath. This feeling, this profound undoing, is the universe's signal. It's the echo of a forgotten initiation, a call to attend the great work. But of what great work are we being summoned? What happens when the only path forward is through the remnants of what was? This is where the divine begins its secret work. The physical form, usually a shield against the infinite, became a canvas. The body, a vessel of flesh and bone, transformed into a scroll. Every ache, every scar, every whisper of fading energy held forgotten glyphs. These were not messages of decay, they were hieroglyphs of a cosmic process. The skin, the bones, the very blood coursing through veins became the sacred text. Each wrinkle a line of wisdom, each tremor a resonating chord. The story of existence was not etched in stone or papyrus alone. It was written in the silent dissolution of the self. What untold secrets lie buried within the architecture of our own bodies, waiting to be read when all else falls away. This transformation is the next step in uncovering the hidden covenant. Then the sacred geometry of unmaking began. The body, the scroll, was deliberately taken apart. Not by a cruel hand, but by the deliberate intention of universal law. The pieces scattered, each fragment holding a universal truth. This dismemberment was not an end, but a profound beginning. It was a mapping of the cosmos within the microcosm. From the head held high to the feet that touched the earth, each part knew its cosmic relation. The act of separation was the act of understanding. The whole was broken, not to be lost, but to reveal its constituent parts, each a universe in itself. But what divine architect orchestrated this precise fragmentation, and why must the whole be shattered to be truly known? This leads us to the heart of divine restoration. Amidst the scattering, a singular force emerged. Isis, the primal mother, the weaver of destinies, she walked among the fragments, not with grief, but with an alchemical vision. She saw not death, but potential. Her tears were not of sorrow, but of potent magic, each drop a dew of creation falling upon the scattered remnants. She gathered not just pieces of flesh, but echoes of divine names, whispers of cosmic codes. Isis, the mother of magic, was the keeper of the return. She understood the language of fragmentation. Her purpose was not to mourn what was lost, but to reassemble what was always meant to be. But how does one gather the scattered essence of a god, and what ancient power resides in her touch that can mend the brokenness of creation itself? This brings us to the symbols of renewed life. The scarab beetle, symbol of rebirth, crawled across the desolate landscape. Each movement was a promise of return. Its purpose was to nudge the scattered parts, to remind them of their original form, their divine mandate. Along with the fragments, names were lost. The true designations of power, the vibrations that held beings together, had been sundered. The universe held its breath, waiting for these forgotten names to be reclaimed. These tiny engineers of renewal, these scarabs, worked tirelessly. They moved with an ancient purpose, guided by an unseen hand. Their purpose was to realign the scattered pieces, to prepare them for reassembly. But what power resides in a name, and how can its loss unravel the very fabric of existence, leaving only the silent hum of scattered fragments? This leads us to the soul's purification. The journey into the self is often initiated by fire, not the fire of destruction, but the alchemical fire of Negredo. This is the stage of dusk, of profound darkness, where the old self is burned away, leaving only the raw essence. It is a process of unmaking, a deliberate dissolving of illusions. The ego, the attachments, the false identities, all are consumed. It is a necessary descent into the shadow, where truths are revealed not through light, but through absence. This ritual of unmaking is essential. It clears the ground for what is to be built anew. Without this burning, this profound surrender, the deeper reconstruction cannot begin. But what is this darkness truly revealing, and why is it the essential first step in reclaiming our divine inheritance? This brings us to the gates of cosmic justice. To pass through the gates, one must stand before the scales of Maat. Here every action, every thought, every intention is weighed. The heart is balanced against a feather of truth, a symbol of cosmic order and righteousness. This is not a judgment of punishment, but a calibration of alignment. It is the soul observing its own reflection, seeing where it has strayed from universal harmony. The scales themselves hum with the vibration of cosmic law. To stand here is to confront the absolute truth of one's existence. It is to acknowledge the intricate dance between free will and divine order. But what happens when the scales falter, and how does the eternal balance of Maat guide the soul toward its ultimate resurgence? This leads us to the moment of clarity. Following the cleansing fire of Negredo comes albedo. This is the stage of dawn, of pure white light, where the purified essence begins to coalesce. It is the recollection of the eternal name, the reawakening of true identity. In this illumination, the scattered fragments begin to remember. They recognize their original pattern, their divine blueprint. The soul, stripped bare by the fire, begins to see itself with absolute clarity. This is not a new creation, but a remembering. It is the return to a primal state of being, a profound understanding of one's eternal name. But how does this newfound clarity guide the reintegration of what was shattered, and what forgotten resonance does it awaken within us? This brings us to the gaze of self-recognition. As light dawns, Hathor's mirror appears. This is not a polished surface of vanity, but a conduit to pure memory. In its depths, the soul sees not its current form, but its primordial wholeness, its unbroken state. This mirror reflects the original design of the divine being. It shows the intricate connection to all that is. It is a glimpse of the perfected self, the one that existed before fragmentation. The memory of wholeness returns with a powerful resonance. It is a recognition of what was and what will be again. But what forgotten powers are rekindled by this vision of absolute perfection, and how does this memory shape the subsequent stages of reintegration? This leads us to the culmination of divine alchemy. The final stage is rubedo, the red awakening. This is the fusion of all that was broken, all that was purified, all that was remembered and seen in the mirror. It is the alchemical marriage of opposites, the integration of light and shadow. In this vibrant fusion, the scattered parts are not merely reassembled. They are transformed, transmuted into something new, something more profound. This is the blood of life, the divine spark igniting every atom. Rubedo is the great work completed within the self. It is the realization of being both divine and human, earthly and cosmic. But when all the disparate elements finally merge, what new consciousness awakens, and what unseen forces are awakened by this complete integration? This points toward the ultimate act of resurrection. Where a loss occurred, consciousness sinks. Where a part was severed, the essence falls. But in these places of burial, In these depths of perceived end, Osiris begins his rise. He emerges from the darkness, not as he was, but renewed. His rising is the promise of transformation. It is the inherent power within all beings to regenerate. The grave becomes a crucible, the tomb a womb. The spirit, tested and refined, ascends. Osiris' resurrection is a blueprint for our own unfolding. He demonstrates that even in the deepest despair, the seeds of renewal are sown. But this rising is not solitary. It is anchored by the guardian of the transition. This leads us to the silent watcher of the threshold. At the threshold of re-entry, Anubis stands. He is not the god of death, but the guide of passage, the one who ensures the soul's safe return to manifested form. His presence signifies the completion of the underworld journey. He watches over the reintegration, the reknitting of the soul's tapestry. His jackal head surveys the path, ensuring it is clear for the soul's return to its reassembled vessel. Anubis is the silent witness to the soul's reintegration. He ensures that the alchemical process, from fragmentation to fusion, is honored. But as the soul prepares to cross back into a realm of form, what forgotten laws govern this re-entry, and what is the ultimate significance of his watchful gaze? This brings us to the profound realization of our own divinity. You are not merely a vessel that has been reassembled. You are always the script. The narrative of fragmentation, dismemberment, and reunion was already written within your core. The divine drama played out within you. The journey of Isis, the fire of Negredo, the light of Albedo, the fusion of Rubedo, these were not external events. They were the chapters of your own soul's unfolding, written in the language of the cosmos and inscribed within your very being. This understanding shifts everything. It reveals that the resurrection is not an event that happens to you, but a truth that has always resided within you. But if you are the script, what does that mean for your agency, and what does it signify for the power you now hold? This leads to the ultimate truth of your sovereignty. The throne was never empty. Even in moments of deepest loss, of profound fragmentation, the divine presence remained. Your rightful place, your sovereign seat of power, was always waiting. It was obscured, but never truly vacated. The rising of Osiris, the guidance of Anubis, the gathering of Isis, all of this was to awaken you to the truth of your own inherent divinity, your eternal reign. The throne is the realization that the kingdom was always within you. This realization is the culmination. It is the understanding that you are not a subject, but a sovereign. The universe mirrors your own divine authority. But as you claim your ancient throne, what cosmic responsibility comes with this ultimate remembrance? And how does this truth reshape your place in the grand unfolding of existence? Now make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.